ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. So, in today's video, we're going to talk, or we're going to start a new, not a new, but, you know, we're going to have a couple of series that I've already explained. So, we're going to look from tier 4 upwards. We are going to have a whole week, hopefully, which I will explain soon. We're going to have a whole week of every day looking at the highest DPM tanks of each tier. Now, we're not going to look at tier 3 or 2 or tier 1. We're going to start from tier 4 because tier 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 7, and that will go 7 days. And then we'll look at the lowest DPM tanks from tier 4 up to tier 10. That will be another 7 days. So in total, that is 14 days of this. 14 days. Why are we doing this for 14 days? Now, I have already explained not long ago that I am going to do this when my wife has the baby. So currently, for me recording this, we still have a few weeks left of her being pregnant. But by the time this video is released, because I want to get it out there ready, I don't want to be my missus gives birth and then I haven't made the footage, so I'm making it early. So by the time you watch this video, it will actually mean my wife's had the baby. So yes, I am a father again to another little boy, little Louis. We've named him Louis. So yeah, by the time you actually guys get to watch this film or this video, my missus has had the baby. So that means I've got a couple of weeks off work and I want a couple of weeks off making videos. So that is hence why I'm making the videos early. So I still have the videos to cover my days off. So yeah, I'm a dad again. So congratulations me. So in today's video, we're going to start with tier 4. What is the highest DPM tank in tier 4? Now, also what I want to say is, we are looking at each individual tank when it is fully upgraded. Now, obviously, I do get that there are going to be some tanks that with the top gun is what it is, and then the lower gun might have more DPM, but less penetration and stuff like that. We are not looking at that. We are just looking at fully equipped, maxed out top gun only, because most of the time the top gun is the best gun. Most of the time, not always, but most of the time. So we are looking at the top of the like the top gun. So just so people don't comment, hey, what you on about? This tank has more DPM if you run it with this gun. We're not going to look at that. We're just looking at it maxed out. So what is the highest DPM tank in tier 4? Now there's a lot of tier 4s. Most of them are okay-ish, but nothing really special. But the highest DPM tank in tier 4 is this tank right here, the Matilda. I mean, it's a good tank for a new player. And what I mean by that, because you're going to be up against players that don't really know how to play the game yet, this has extremely strong armor when it comes to new players. Now, obviously, if I go and play it, which I have, I've got a little bit of footage for you, not too much, then it is more difficult for me to play because people know how to deal with me. People know how to deal with the armor. So I'm not bouncing half as much that I would if I was playing on a new account against newer players that don't really know how to switch to the APCR and just make this an easy penetration. So also, we are also going to look at tanks with the gun rammer and not the calibrated shells, because the gun rammer, you can maximize your DPM. As you can see here, the DPM on this is 1455. So 1455 DPM. That makes this tank the highest DPM in tier 4. But is it the best tank? Just because it's got the highest DPM doesn't mean it's the best tank. And that is why I wanted to make this video, because a lot of people just look at DPM. They look at, oh my God, that's really high DPM. It must be amazing. Doesn't mean it's amazing. And likewise, the opposite way. Like, oh my God, that only has 1000 DPM. That's absolutely shit. Doesn't always mean that. And let's just find an example, shall we? Like, let's have a look. So M7. M7 is a brilliant tank. It is an absolutely brilliant tank in tier 4. but it only has 1100 DPM, which isn't a lot compared to 1400. It isn't that good. And other tanks, you know, the T40 is actually a brilliant tank destroyer. Again, 1200. We run it with that, 1200 DPM. Again, not very good. So yeah, it doesn't always mean the DPM, highest DPM is the best tanks. So let's just take this tank into battle. Well, not this tank. Let's just take this tank into battle to see how it plays on the battlefield. So it's definitely one of those tanks that performs better against tier 3s. Again, if you're a new player just starting the game and you've decided to go the Matilda line all the way up, then you will actually have a decent time driving the tank. It used to be a medium tank. Nothing really changed, to be honest, but Wargaming decided a few years ago that it's not really a medium tank. It's a heavy tank. So they have changed it to a heavy tank, which actually works out better, because obviously if it's a medium tank, the way Wargaming have now worked it, you can really only get, you're supposed to only get 3 of each maximum. As you can see, this game on the lower tiers doesn't quite work out like that way, because we have 4 light tanks. So yeah, it doesn't really work out that way. But because this is now a heavy, it just gives that extra spot when there is people in the queue, enough people in the queue for these tiers. It gives that extra spot for a medium tank, whereas before this was taking one of those spots. So you can see it's always been a slow tank, but 30 kilometers an hour, I mean, isn't so bad. And again, we are getting penetrated quite easily, but we are also getting some bounces as well. And again, if you're up against tier 3s, they really will struggle to penetrate you. Those of you that are lucky enough to have a Keniotsu, which is one of the most broken tier 3s in the game, they really struggle against this tank, really do struggle. And because you've got such good DPM as well, I mean, 1450 DPM, you are constantly firing that gun. I mean, 3.3 seconds, 2.7 if you are running adrenaline. So yeah, you're just constantly firing. And if you're up against a tank that can't really penetrate you, then they really are going to struggle against the Matilda. So yeah, brilliant DPM. The speed's okay. I mean, it's always been known as a slow tank, but playing it, it's not that slow. It doesn't feel that slow. Of course, you're still going to struggle against those light tanks, which you're going to see in a minute. We're not going to be able to catch a light tank. So we're not going to watch the whole replay, because most of the last couple of minutes is just us trying to chase that Panzer 38 NA around. So yeah, we're not going to just sit there and watch us trying to chase him around. So, I mean, it's quite difficult to get the damage. We've done 1,000 damage, and normally that's the most. 1,500 or so is the most that you're going to get. Of course, again, if you are a new player or if you create a new account and then grind this, you might get more damage. Because you're going to come up against people that just don't have a clue, and they're going to probably just sit in front of you and try to pen you, and they won't be able to penetrate you. They're just going to sit there, and you're just going to absolutely farm. So I've definitely enjoyed this tank on a new account. I have tried it. I've played it on a new account, and it is a fun tank to play. Nowadays, not so fun on an old account. You know, if you come up against tier 5s, then most of the time you're going to get penetrated. It's not hard to penetrate a Matilda when you know how to. I mean, if you switch to APCR, then you can just pen anywhere on the front. So it's not hard at all. So yeah, let me know if you are surprised. I'm not really surprised that this tank is the highest DPM. I know it had high DPM. I know the reload was very, very short. The alpha obviously is quite low as well. But yeah, I wasn't surprised to see this at number 1. So let me know in the comments what you thought was the highest DPM in tier 4. Whether you're surprised that this tank is the highest, and whether you think I'm a noob because I completely missed that shot there to kill the guy, and now we're just going to spend the next 2 minutes chasing him around. So for now, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hopefully, hopefully I get to make tomorrow's video. So every day, so tomorrow we will hopefully look at tier 5 and then tier 6 and so on, so on. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye.
with